What's up, guys? It's Austin. It's the All or Nothing show. We're hitting it on a different day, switching it up on you.
With a guest.
With a guest, yeah.
Yes,
Impromptu.
sir.
Got Miles Hicks. Miles Hicks fit?
Yeah. Some people call me Miles Chicks Fit. I'm like,
Yeah.
No, not quite.
But thank you for coming on, dude.
Absolutely.
So today we are doing a little different. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Hopefully going to have one, maybe another episode.
We should have a double.
We're probably going to
Things
give you
got delayed. Podcast last week didn't go up.
going to give you a double feature
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
But hopefully y'all enjoy this. Doing it with the iPhone or not iPhone.
Dude, that hat's on its last,
Is it? Yeah.
It's like barely connected
Oh yeah,
by the
it's
two
very
holes.
loose. I don't like it tight around
You must have
my
a
brain.
huge ass head, or
Well, that too.
hat's just loose.
Well, big brain. That's
I
what I
yeah.
have
think.
a long head. Like some of my friends joke and say I got a pinto bean.
like tall.
Yeah.
Well,
Tall?
like
yeah.
mine's
I think
like,
I do
look,
too.
Look, mine.
Oh yeah, it is snug on the back. It
Yeah.
almost tapers. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it is. Yeah.
You got a thin head,
Before I shaved
It's
my head,
thin,
I didn't know.
but it's not. I don't think it's overly.
No,
tall.
it's not too.
No.
I mean,
tall.
it's like it's what do you call
He
it?
doesn't
Aesthetic
look like
to your
some
body.
Hey Arnold character.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
the
It's
the
more
dude with
the
the
football
high
head.
Stinky
top.
Peterson, yeah, whatever.
Oh
Or no,
my
I know
God.
you're talking about, black dude. Yeah.
My friends will say you look like a thumb or call me a pinto bean.
Yeah. When I shaved my head, I was kind of like nervous with where hairline would be or like the shape of my head. But Maddie said like it turned out pretty round. Like it
I
wasn't
do.
too oval.
When I rub my head, I feel some spots that
Uh-huh.
feel a little
Bumpy.
indented,
Yeah.
like I was dropped
Really?
in my head as a kid, maybe or some shit, or maybe beaten.
Yeah.
But we'll
you
find
get a
out
full
soon.
like deflated.
Yeah,
Explains a
we'll
lot.
find out soon.
Yeah.
But Miles,
What's up?
I want to definitely kick it off with you since you're the guest today. You are getting ready to compete here soon, right?
Yep.
Give us a little talk about what prep has been looking like. How long you been prepping for, and
And
all
it's
that
the
jazz.
summer shredding. Is it in
Yeah.
Houston?
So I'm doing
Oh,
one
what are
in
they doing?
Charlotte.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
really told many people, but
Yeah,
I'm
so
doing
break it
one in
down.
Charlotte, the 23rd of October.
Okay.
And then it's an NPC show, and then I'm doing the one in Houston, the summer shredding.
Okay, so this is like a preparation, see what to dial in.
Yeah,
see
I just
how it
want to
goes.
peak. I just want to I want my coach to know what my peak is gonna be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because the summer shredding is the one that I care about.
Yeah.
I don't really care about this NPC show, but I just don't want to not come in flat or whatever,
Yeah.
and then be like, oh, next time, because there ain't a next time for me
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Good way to test things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I know we talked a bunch since even I don't know when the last time we sort of got together and talked about your goals behind the summer shredding event, but I definitely agree with you. And even the talks that we had right before the mics were on, it being one of your probably best opportunities to actually do something with compared to NPC shows that are just not dime a dozen, but nobody pays attention to them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I mean, anyone I talk to, I word vomit it, but it's my secret. This show right here, honestly, any influencer that is in the bodybuilding world, I don't know. I got 5 weeks for that, so maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't for anyone to hop in last minute, but if you want to grow your social media, if you want to grow a personal brand, to me, the summer shredding show is I don't want to say it's common sense,
It is, though.
That is, yeah.
but it's dang, I don't want. I'm saying it. I don't care. If I were a bodybuilder that even wanted to go pro, that wanted to go to Olympia, I would easily do this show, win overall if I already thought I could go to Olympia, and then it sets you up. I get a sponsorship, I get an athlete sponsorship, all the connections that you make from being with athlete and all those different things. It's that sets you up because nowadays, I hate to say it, but getting a pro card means.
So that's one thing I wrote down in my notes. We've been talking about it recently, and something I've been internally thinking about because I've seen a lot of people locally and a little bit out of the area talk about either on their story that, what do you think of, it goes bodybuilding, powerlifting, really anything. What do you think of, let's say, so-and-so calling themselves a bodybuilder, but they don't compete? And I think it kind of gets to a broader view of how we view, like you said, pro bodybuilders or competing overall, and then how people's egos are attached to these kinds of sports. Because I think there is something to truly respect for those that compete, whether it's powerlifting, bodybuilding, whatever. But at the same time, I think there almost gets a lot of ego, oh, that person calls himself a bodybuilder, but they're not as serious as me because they don't
Yeah.
do these shows, or, oh, they're just OCB. That's not as serious as me, NPC. And even though that might be true, it's almost like this ego competition. But to your point, I feel the same way, to where I'd rather be super popular on Instagram, C-level bodybuilder, than be A-level IFBB pro, but I don't make a living off bodybuilding, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, like, for one, especially in bodybuilding, if you're working out at all, there's ego gonna be there.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well,
It's
for
just
sure.
fueling, even if like you're passive with it or not.
It's a self,
but
free
like
sport, yeah.
at the same time, it's not even like necessarily me being like a C-level bodybuilder. It's just me like marketing myself. Like,
yeah, I
you know
didn't
what
mean you,
mean?
for example, but yeah. I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah. So it's like, I think like a lot of people, they see Chris Bumstead or they see, you know, Phil Heath or whatever, and they think like, oh yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. But I'm not saying that it's not possible. I don't want to be that pessimistic, but it's like the odds, like literally
Yeah.
the odds of you getting there. I mean, to be real, like you have to literally live, like wake, sleep, whatever all those three
Yeah.
words are, bodybuilding, and not take a day off, be precise with everything, and really just be the most genetic freak
You
ever.
probably
to
have
get
a
there.
better chance of being popular on Instagram or YouTube. I feel like people know the top 5, maybe physique guys. They know
Yeah.
the top 5 bodybuilders. But, you know, do you know who got 14th in men's open? Probably not. Especially, and that's at men's, or that's at the Olympia rather than, you know, the Arnold or smaller NPC shows. And to your point, if I'm going to compete, I either am going to be that like 1%, that top of the line, like then it's worth it. You're going to get sponsored by, let's say, a brand that's going to pay you enough to actually be a professional, make a living doing it. Or I'm going to put myself in position to grow my brand and go from there as an influencer, which I think is a smart way in the approach that you're taking, where you're like, hey, if I'm going to compete anyway, I'm going to get myself in this shape. I might as well compete at a show where there's going to be a lot of eyes on me.
Yeah, well, I think here's the difference. I think not everyone thinks that way. Like, you know, like,
For sure, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm the biggest entrepreneur or nothing, but like I have an entrepreneur mindset. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are, I feel like, engulfed in the idea of an entrepreneur mindset or whatever, and they don't really, like, their brain doesn't process the way to open a gym at 20 years old or start a supplement company. They don't think that. They think like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, or these guys do this, and like, no, like I'm thinking around, like I'm not thinking like,
Outside the box.
yeah, exactly,
Not
like,
inside, yeah.
and like people don't think that because like, I mean, if they don't think that way, some people just love bodybuilding. It's very rare, but some people just love bodybuilding. Some people think that getting pro is the only way to go for training clients, but it's like, if you have that mindset, that entrepreneur mindset, it's like, I'm not even, like, popular is cool and popular is like, I guess the avenue I'm going, but it's more so like connections. It's more so like marketing. It's more so that it's not like being popular is going to help me, but I don't care about being popular, honestly. Like my end goal is me actually stepping out of like the face of like influencers. But like right now, I feel like with what I want to do long term, I have to do this for what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I think, like, to your point, I think a lot of people do think, oh, I need to hit certain numbers or I need to be this well known to make business impacts or have these connections, blah, blah, blah. But it's really the connections oftentimes that come first. Like, just in a few instances or connections I've had with, oh, a brand sees, 10,000 in my bio, or they see so-and-so follows me, and that leads to someone else following me or someone else emailing me or this opportunity. And it's like those little things that make like a big impact, or like we've talked about recently with like Nick Baer, and, he's had a big rise in the past year and a half and with his brand, but it's almost like you see the same 4 people go to his gym, also go to so-and-so's gym, also do a video with him. And so it's almost this whole like friend group thing that all get the rub off each other. And it's just making that first connection, that first friendship, being at the right spot that kind of makes that circle
and
work.
At the end of the day, summer shredding, awareness, attention is tenfold NPC.
This show right here, look, like I said, this is a secret cat out of the bag. The first year it happened, I did it, and it was big. It was huge. Like, I'm talking about, not exaggerating, probably a line from the fence over here to across the street, like right in the front, to like just get in for tickets. Like, the second show I did, it was still kind of that. It was a little bit less. But this show, it's a grand opening of Alphaland.
Alphaland.
It's at Alphaland. All influencers that don't even aren't with Alpha are going to go because
Of course.
they're connected with Christian.
Can we talk about how fucking crazy Alphaland is?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to
It's
be nuts,
Alpha
man.
Land.
It's going to be nuts. It's going to be the biggest. Like, this is what I said and I told, and like, this is why I got so serious with everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Any show after this, unless he does something just as crazy, it's not going to compare. This is going to be if the guy who won the first year, who already is killing it,
Who won the first year?
Justin. He's got like 300 something K now. Like, you know, he capitalized on it for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, Alex, he's got like 17 now. You know, he's growing.
Yeah.
But like, it will be literally nothing like compared to this show. Like, it will be nothing because the 1,000, let's say it was 1,000 people.
Grand Open's exciting. Yeah, people
It's
want to
crazy,
be there. They
especially Alpha Land.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
I'm
be
just
insane.
thinking, like post event, how much they're going to use you on or use the winner on social media for advertisement of next year's, or just announcing that this is the new Athlete.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that.
Yeah.
I think just overall like awareness that they're going to bring to the winners, or even like the top 3, would trump the amount of presence that the NPC gives to their winners. They announce it once, hey, Dickhead won, and nobody remembers the name after that. Of an NPC show, at least,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's literally, I mean, this could literally be life changing. But one thing that I've been thinking about so much lately is, it's kind of like what you said. It's not necessarily just winning the show and getting that cosign. It's like, what do you do with that cosign? What do you do with the connections? Because those connections mean 10 times as much as a cosign. There's people like that, like, could be famous, and you can be friends with them, and they can repost you on their page all day. But if you don't have those connections, if you don't really have that like impact or value, or you're putting it out there, it doesn't mean anything.
And that's something we talked about too, I feel like, in the past, to where it's, I don't know, I've tried to, I think, write a caption about this. It's hard to articulate it, but I feel like you aren't important or special until you create an important or special value. So like, what I'm doing, no one gives a fuck about. But I'm like, once I get to the point though where I am running a 100-mile race, or I'm doing this or doing that, then people give a shit. But like right now, like, running, lifting, nothing's too impressive, nothing's too cool, but it's like, the end road. So it's like the train you're doing right now may not be there, but it's like where you're going to be eventually, and that you're creating a persona, a value, a profile, that when people do meet you in person, when they do come to your profile, they see like, oh shit, this is someone I want to follow. Versus if you don't have that built up, you can get all the exposure you want. We've talked about, you can have all the advertisement views you want, but if people get to GymFlo's profile and it's a bunch of Android photos just associated with your phone, then people are like, what is this?
It's not as serious. Yeah.
Exactly. And 2 things I want to say. First of all, shout out to the GymFlo podcast, because I feel like every week I'm like, man, like I was literally thinking about this stuff, or like, man, I would love to talk about that. And literally the biggest thing that like I've been thinking about lately is like what you just said about like having that value, because like at the end of the day, it's like, if all 3 of us sit here and we all just work out, right? We all just do 75-pound dumbbells for incline or whatever. Like with my whole thing, like I love marketing, right? Like I'm not the most outgoing, crazy, like I'm not going to go up at random people. I'm like, what's up, man? But like I understand marketing, and it's a matter of how much marketing I want to do or feel comfortable doing. But the thing is like, I was and I'm gonna make a caption about this, so y'all be incoming.
Let's go.
I was going to go to Charlotte, right? And I was gonna apply for jobs, and all of them need this certification or this qualification, this degree, and I was like, man, like I can't make more money. Like, what am I gonna do? But like at the end of the day, it's like, if you don't do more than the next person, if you are just as average looking, as average outgoing, as average, whatever the case may be, as the next person, you're going to literally, like, what makes you think, for whatever reason, you are going to excel any more better than the next person?
Or even if you tie your value to a certification, like most things are, but if you yourself, your mind, what you bring to the table is so irreplaceable, then they can't just hire the next graduate, kid out of, wherever. they need you because you make those sales, you bring in this attention.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Anyone can get a certification. It's like it doesn't matter, and that's the cosign. People think that's the cosign. Oh, I got my certification. No, you gotta sell yourself.
Yeah.
And how are you gonna do that? That's gonna depend on how many more clients you get. How many, like that's marketing 101.
And I'll say one of the hardest things that I think you touched on a little bit is like providing that value before you're getting the incentive for it. So like you said, we can all kind of like lift or whatever. And that's something I realized with myself. I was like, I can post workouts, but none of my PRs are super heavy and exciting. None of my physique isn't eye catching, whatever. So,
well, what you do have is consistency.
And then also rare. Everyone has their own personality, some way better than others, but you can also change and show more and people find interest. So what I've been trying to do, especially recently, with the running stuff is just be more consistent with YouTube. Just keep posting, keep posting. And although sometimes I look at it and I'm like, 30 views or 80 views. And I'm like, I'm not getting any money back from these videos. Like I'm spending time doing it. But it's over time, you'll get the return back later. And you just have to kind of keep at it and just have some faith that in the end, the subscriber count, the sponsorship, the Alpha Land, whatever you're doing, will give you the incentive and will pay it forward once you get there. But you can't always be like, hey, pay me now. It's like you got to put the work in even when there's no prize even there.
For sure.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a little pessimistic, and I was just telling this, but I think sometimes it's like, yes, paying it forward is very important, and you have to. You literally have to. But sometimes you have to realize who you are as a person and what do you really think at the end of the day what you're going to bring to the table, like you said it, you can take all the steroids or whatever you want, but if you're not doing everything else, it's not going to help you. And it's like you can post all day, but you also have to you have to bring something extra. It depends where you want to go with it, because there's someone for example, I was actually talking about this yesterday. Do y'all know the girl Bailey Stewart? She got a cosign and boom, she's what, 240K, and she has a look. She is lucky to have a look to be able to do that. But there's someone else, because she got a cosign from 1.1 million follower account. But if you look at Athlete, it has a 1.1 million follower account, and people that are getting cosign on there can literally stay under 10K, and it's like. You can put in that work, but you have to bring something special to the table.
It has
as far
to be
as how you're gonna go.
Either entertainment, knowledge, informational, value, or just inspirational. I guess.
For sure.
Obviously, booties help.
Yeah.
that's another route.
Or biddies.
I got one, but not many want to probably see it. But I definitely think even I'm no influencer, but when I do post,
you are.
The bike riding and shit like that, people do DM and damn, dude, keep
people
at it.
authentic.
Or, they're like, fuck, keep getting after it, blah blah blah. So there is some inspirational thing through that and being consistent about posting, which I'm not very consistent with it. Brock's definitely to the T. I can see how that compounds over time.
Yeah, I would say the consistency is the biggest thing, and then you can really play both, but sometimes it's quality where you can stand out. Where I'll spend the money and time with Griffin to get some eye-catching photos because I can't take good photos of me running. It's just so hard to set up.
Yeah.
And then also, people like authentic, just showing up, simple clips of me running or you on the bike or, you dieting, showing what you're eating. It's people can see just real life what's going on. And, like you said with Bailey, I have a close friend that has just under 100,000 on YouTube. And, whenever he collaborates with people or, close friends or whatever want to be in his video and they're trying to start up their channel, it's you can be in his video and you'll get some views because of that. But at the same time, those people aren't going to subscribe to you or follow you on Instagram unless they actually find you interesting too. So you can try and ride on someone's coattail, but it's still not going to do it. You still have to have that value once they get there.
Yeah, you gotta put in that consistency. You gotta have that work, and you gotta have some type of it factor.
Shortcuts.
You gotta have that it factor. I look at his keys. I always say there's keys. You have great we were talking about budgeting. You have very great goal setting, goal crushing things. And I don't. And I think that slows me down. I don't think that it's going to take away long term where I want to get. But if I truthfully believe this, if I thought that I had any type of year goal, like just naturally, like just wanting to like lock in, I think I'd be a lot further than where I'm at today. Honestly, I think I'd be 10 times further, bigger, or whatever. But I don't. And so I think, like I said, you have to have like some type of it factor to push you to the next level. Because like, I don't know, man. That's my thing.
And either whatever that it factor is, it still has to be followed up with consistency.
Exactly.
Whether it's the look or the budgeting, the goal setting.
Yeah,
you know.
and that's something. So I do have
Day
some
in, day
strengths, but one thing I have fucked up on in the past that I'm trying to correct now and make that change is consistency. Because when I was like 11, 12, 5th grade, I had a YouTube channel.
Who the fuck's consistent when they're that young?
Well, no,
now?
but let me carry it out. It carries on later though.
Okay.
So I had like 200 subs. I'd been doing like 5 months. Shittiest, like, I use a MacBook laptop, did like photo booth, and basically filmed the video from there. So like laptop cam, and videos here or there reviewing iPhone cases, whatever, tech channel, stuff like that. And at the time, like for 200 subs at like 2011, this is like second generation how they like laid out the channel, so it's way back. So like that's kind of decent actually. And so I would email sometimes these companies, and I'd actually get some like free cases or this or that, free products, headphones. And so I was getting into that, but you get almost shy about this, or you get lazy with it, because of what people think, or you just get lazy like making the videos. So I stopped that account, had other accounts in like middle school. Tried to be consistent with like lifting videos. Here it comes to more modern day. Try to be consistent with like Instagram here or there, or get more on YouTube. But it's like if you end up stopping after every couple months, you're like, it's like that photo always reference. I'm sure you've seen it too, where the guy's mining and he quits right before the diamond's there. And I feel like what I've been telling Maddie, and I think even you too, I'm like, if I can just stick posting, one, if definitely not 2 videos a week for like 2-3 years, there's no way I don't have at least some kind of following, let alone if, I can have a video or 2 catch fire. It's just about the consistency. You just got to keep showing up.
And the thing that's like that, it sucks, but it's something to look forward to, is once you get, let's say, to that 10,000 subscriber mark, the compound doubles,
Definitely.
And then it triples once you get to 30,000, because that 30,000 every week it should compound even more. But it's
Hard
like it's
part's
the
the
hardest
beginning.
to get that motherfucker rolling.
Get that snowball, mate.
Yeah.
Do you think that applies to Instagram as well?
You said what? Oh, applies to... Yeah, absolutely. Instagram's tricky, though.
fucking-
I don't think it does,
weird?
man.
You know why it's weird, though? It's because YouTube, you can have a viral video because it's searchable, it'll catch fire. Instagram's so tricky because I think there's so much new stuff where Reels is new, and you can search hashtags and this and that. So like hashtags are helpful, but even when I was posting, I don't know if you were following me at this time, you probably were. When I was at VCU, I started posting a little bit of like these mobility videos, and they did super well. Got like 80 saves here, 100 saves there. I had my biggest video.
They got shown to me. That's how I found you.
Yeah, exactly. My biggest video had 1,000 saves. It had like 2,000 likes, hundreds of shares. And even that video only got me, which I'd take any day now, 100 follows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's my absolute best post. Even if I had like 5 of those a month, it's only 500 followers. It'd still take me forever to catch some of these other people. And to where Instagram, it's like, I don't know what the fuck to do, but I do know that not posting doesn't work. So
I don't know,
that's
man.
what I'll say.
I disagree.
Yeah?
I disagree.
I'll listen to you because I'm clearly not an expert with Instagram.
So, all right, you think about music, right? 2021 music coming out left and right? Especially rap. Like, I'm a big rap listener.
Do you think people come and go a lot easier though with rap and music?
People come and go, but that's the thing. It's like, if this rapper's dropping this week, this rapper's dropping this week, 3 rappers dropping this week, 3 rappers dropping this week. You listen to an album for like a week. Like Drake, I think he's a GOAT, whatever. But why are you looking at him?
I was like, no.
I haven't listened to a Drake song since like 2006.
I feel like Drake wasn't good anymore after 2012 or 13.
Let me rephrase. I don't think he's the best rapper. I think he is literally a marketing business genius that is untouchable.
Yeah, he crushes.
But he's the type that it gets some hype. Like, let's say, for example, I can see where we're going to hype into it, is some of these rappers aren't aren't taking that little week of fire
Yeah.
and taking opportunities to grow, like
Yeah.
branch off into some other like business, and they just fall off and go broke again or get back into drugs or whatever the fuck.
But see, this is my thing, right? Like, I love Drake. I like this album, whatever. I listen to it every once in a while. Like, new album came out, a different rapper that I like. I listen to him. You know, it's not that I don't go back and listen to it, but
Yeah.
like once a point where things become oversaturated, it's like, if you post every day, have you noticed your likes go down? Because like it's oversaturation. It's like, oh, this is just another picture. This is just another video. This is just another that. I see this. But if you're like not PRing every single time you post, but it's like, okay, the lighting's fire. Okay, yeah, I look very impressive. Okay, I look this or whatever. And as long as it's a part of a journey, I can say it's disregarded. But like, if you're posting the same thing and it's pretty average on the point, it's kind of just
I agree.
what is this? I've seen this. I followed this guy for years. I've seen this. Like, this is just whatever.
I'll say if it's the same content for the most part, yes, it's true. But in my experience, like, I think there's some people on Instagram, and same goes for YouTube actually, that might only post like once a month. And when they post, you're like,
Nothing
oh
girls.
shit,
It's fucking fire.
oh shit,
Them
what
young
did
girls,
they do?
man, they do that, and they'll
Yeah.
get like 800 likes.
Yeah.
And they got 1,000 followers.
But I think, you know, the other person that posts I think it's different for everyone. I think there's no hard fast rule, because what I'll say is like sometimes I'll post what I think, you know, and what, you know, generally looks like it's set up to be a fire photo, get 200-300 likes, do well. I'll use the same kind of hashtags for the most part, and then it's like dry. You know, like
Yeah.
recently, like Sunday, I posted one, and I usually get like a boost of an extra 100-150 like views on my stories on Sundays for some reason, extra likes. My shit just pops up on people's feeds. But this Sunday, it did dick. You know, it was bad quality. I got a few like overnight that kind of picked it up later, but it was just bad. My views were kind of low, and it's just fucking weird. But then I posted the reel yesterday, and recently reels have been kind of like meh or shitty for me. That one fucking crushed. Like within like an hour, it had, for me, it was decent. It was like 2,000, 3,000 views, and then after that, it was like no more views.
Just like
And
not
so-
even one, right?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
And so it's so weird. So it's like I'm not saying like what you're suggesting is wrong, because I think, you know, some people have success doing that. But I think, obviously, I mean, this is like a no nonsense comment. Obviously, not posting doesn't work, right?
I think
So the
Journey
one thing
works though.
Huh?
I think Journey works though, and
You're talking
in
about
Journey.
telling a story.
Oh,
like,
telling a journey.
like
Yeah.
showing a story or a process.
Yeah, like for example,
Yeah.
me prep right now. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I do
Well, I think
crazy,
that
but
would
like,
be
Yeah.
like, that's why I'm telling you lately to start filming,
Yeah.
like especially your last month,
Yeah.
because a lot of shit changes. And
Yeah,
like,
people like following
and
a
I think-
story.
yeah,
they
story.
like to see like, oh shit, I want to see how he does.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he's going through like the tough shit right now.
Yeah.
Like people feel it. You know, if it's just the same old flex,
There's the same
it's
page.
like
I
yeah.
even told you when
And
I
it's like,
post
fuck,
like
seen
let's
that
say
a
I
million
post a
times.
regular running photo, gets let's say 200 likes. If I post a photo, this like same type of photo, but I talk about, you know, oh, I just finished a marathon or whatever, it'll have like 400 likes.
Yep.
People are like more inclined to actually give a fuck or to read the caption or to give me props if I actually completed something, whether it's a 5K,
Exactly.
a marathon, whatever, whether it's a bodybuilding show. But if I just pose myself like, hey, I got shredded for summer, I just wanted to look good at the pool, people don't care. You could have the same physique, actually get on stage, and people will be like, wow, like, great job.
It's also doing things that other people don't want to do.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? It goes
For
back to
sure.
that value point, you know?
Because it's different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's something different.
Yeah.
So,
Life, man.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you're right though. Like, I'm thinking about the last time I got like the most DMs and like the most like engagement, quote unquote, was probably when I finished that last 30-mile ride after I posted that I did it in my stories, and it was just a story post, wasn't even like a
people
post.
give a fuck.
But a lot of people fucking responded back. It was like, "Yo, that's fucking sick," blah
Yeah.
blah, blah, or just at least gave me emojis or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
I was like, "Well, damn."
Yeah.
Like looking back on that, it's actually when you're like,
people
when
are
you're,
pushing me to run myself to death to
yeah.
get some
Well, I'm
attention.
trying to. I'm like, kill this motherfucker.
I'm like,
please.
fuck, I got to run 20 miles now. I'm
Something,
not getting
kill
any
this
rub.
guy. I'm tired of seeing this shit.
So it's like journey or story. Like you gotta
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
you have to have either. If it's just
or
like,
ass and
Or
titties.
booty. I mean, that shit always works. I mean, it's like proof in the pudding. Like
I think it gets all of us. So I can't. It's working.
whether you admit it or not, like it gets views.
yeah, sex sells, man.
That's
I wish I was a girl with a
That's
fat
what I'm
butt.
saying. I'd be the most hated because I'd be using my body, using that shit.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I would do some bad stuff. Y'all talk bad about OnlyFans one podcast. And
Oh,
yeah,
well, look, you can.
I'm with OnlyFans,
you
man.
can go out with her, and not take her back to mama. You know,
Yeah, you know
I
what
mean,
I'm
you don't
saying?
have to keep her.
But I think people are falling in love with some of these chicks.
Yeah, like look,
Wait, on OnlyFans?
Yeah.
look, if she's
Like
if she's
praising them as like fucking holy
like
shit.
that ain't entrepreneurship.
I mean,
Bro,
hey, you're making some money.
It is though.
No.
It's marketing. Yo, you can't sit there.
It is.
but-
I'm not going to disagree. I think it is.
But what's the long term though? The long term.
the
once
the
no,
millions of dollars they
no,
make.
yeah, nah, but wait. Once you get bored, they're like, "Hey, I'm tired of seeing this lingerie. Let's go full nude." Oh, I'm tired of seeing full nude. I want to see you start fingering yourself, or whatever. And then it just gets more extreme, until next thing you know, you're doing like 3 ways in the back of an alley, you know, for OnlyFans.
Nah,
you know?
but
'Cause
that's
it's a
but that's
request.
where you gotta hold your values. Like
Yeah, but who said they have value in the first place?
Nah, I mean, but this thing is like, all right, for example, but when I go out, like, for example, a couple weekends ago, I went with my friend to Virginia Beach and we got on the boat. Bro, I was wearing a hoodie. I don't like being the douchebag with my shirt off. Like, I know I have a good physique. I don't like that. I literally was sweating bullets in a hoodie. Like, I'm hot right now, but I'm not. I just feel weirdly, like, I'm just weird like that. But I know that in the gym, I got to take those shirtless selfies. I gotta pose. I got to do those things. I don't want to do it. I feel like the biggest douchebag ever. Like, who cares about me? But you know what? Like, at the end of the day, I know that it sells. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think there's, to an extent, like, girls with OnlyFans, if they're already like, I mean, if they're okay with doing it, it's just as much as someone being okay with. In a
So
way,
I'll ask you the question because Ryan Coles had a disappointing response when we asked him. How would you feel if it was Sam or if it was like your daughter or your sister?
She had OnlyFans.
Yeah.
If Sam had an OnlyFans before I met her, and she was doing her thing on OnlyFans, I would be okay with it.
What if she started one now?
No. Heck no. I break up with her.
See, that's what I tell Maddie, and I know Maddie's joking with me when she says it because she knows I wouldn't be down for it. But I'm like, you better stop joking.
I mean, that's like making a new, that's like making a new guy friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you
it's
got
like
a guy
why you?
friend,
It's like, am I not giving you enough attention and love? Like,
nah,
what you
man.
mean?
But
I don't know.
but the thing is like I started this fitness because people were like, oh, you got great. You should train. You should do this. And I was like, oh, well, I should sell myself. You know? So like I'm selling myself. Maybe it's a little bit more moralistic, but like. Here comes the vanity. Here comes all these different things, you know. But like, if a girl is already like getting catcalled, there's some girls that literally just post bathing suit pictures. Like,
well, here's my thing: is I feel like from a broad standpoint, you look at it from a wide camera view, and you're like, okay, this is women, and they're free choice, and they're making a living, you know, in the way they want to. That seems like a good thing. But then you look at it a closer thing, it's like we're incentivizing bad behavior from men to pay them as objects,
that way.
and sexualize them, and to where it just eggs on that behavior. So we have, you know, one side of society that's saying, hey, we need to fix men catcalling, which I can agree with. We need to fix this and clean up that portion of society, right? And that mindset. But then at the same time, we're incentivizing it.
Yeah.
So it can't be both.
well, see, the thing is I think OnlyFans is bad. I mean, I think overall, like any of that kind of stuff is
Ryan
bad.
Coles just closed the podcast. He's
But-
like, nah.
In all reality, man, the thing is like us as men and women as women, it's forever. No matter what, this is just an evolved of it. You know, this is just evolved. There's nothing in 20 years from now, it's going to be something different. It's going to be the same
I mean,
thing.
there's
I mean,
always
there
been
was
prostitution.
brothels, yeah, there's always been
They're just
something,
making
yeah.
millions of dollars. Some girls literally like this girl makes $2 million.
Have you paid for one?
No, I never
Okay.
will.
See,
I don't
that's
have-
how
I haven't either. And at least clarifying my view on it, I don't care what anybody does really to make money, as long as it ain't hurting nobody. This
Yeah.
is just me laying it out there, and you know, y'all can chat. But I don't care what you do with your body, what you want to date, what you want to sleep with, what you consider yourself, as long as it ain't hurting nobody. And if you're happy doing it, whatever, as long as it's not infringing on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I feel
I'm the
the
same
same
way.
way.
I mean, but
And you know, it's your choice to do that. And if you don't get liked after it, that's a decision that you took
for sure.
to get that way. But you know, fuck it, man. I don't know.
No, for sure.
It's a weird.
It's not good overall, just like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. But like at the end of the day, like I said, this is the life we live. Us women live to please men. At the end of the day, they don't get the lip filler, and they might hate me for saying this. They don't get the lip filler or try to get their butts bigger or bigger boobs or smaller waist for themselves. Like, just like we don't get bigger and do all these things we do it for women. It's just, this is life. Like, you know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, it's like sex will forever sell in whatever form it's sold. But the thing with OnlyFans is girls that are already going to do that would already do it in a different way, who would just be a hoe, just to be a hoe, are making, if they do it right, are making millions of dollars and going into business ventures.
What I'll say is, like you said, I think, you know, if you want to do it, more power to you. It's your thing. I'm not going to like shame anybody. But what I will say is, if I look at it, I think I'm more disappointed in the men paying for it than I am the women.
Bro, what? That's who we are as men, though.
Like. But I'm just disappointed in. You know what? Not even that much. The dudes that aren't in a relationship. I think it's still sad when there's so much like free, you know, shit out there that you could look at that you're like, I want to look at this specific girl's like photos. It's more sad the husbands, the fathers that are, you know, paying to look at these photos. It's like, come on, man.
I mean, if they're paying online, like Pornhub and stuff, you got to think about anything.
If I find out someone's paying for, I know people do. If I find out someone's paying for porn, we gotta have a talk.
It is 2021.
There's so
a
much
lot of free.
There's not even a lot. There's unlimited. You couldn't watch.
And maybe we just have a different mindset. I would rather want a real. I'd rather want real shit.
Yeah.
Or like to go out and get hooked up with somebody before I'd pay for anything.
But this is the thing, though, and y'all said this on the podcast, and it's not good for business. But you wouldn't pay for a coach either. You wouldn't pay for these things because you can do it yourself. Same thing. It's like there's people out there that want to pay for Brock, for Austin. Anyone you train, they can go and. Did you go get a trainer to work out?
So that's a little bit different because that's like you're paying someone to basically help do the work or speed up a process for you. This is more like you're paying for a fast reaction or experience.
But clients that stay with you, they don't need you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. It's not a good sell, but they don't need you. It's a personal thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do develop that personal relationship.
It gets personal, and the thing with these OnlyFans girls, it's very personal, and people are weird like that, but that's what it is. It's like people, but there's millions of weirdos.
It's a good way to sign it up. There's millions of weirdos out there. That is true, man.
I mean, people like you said, people don't need to follow me to figure out how to eat protein.
Hey, girls don't get paid to show photos of their feet for no reason.
That's what I'm saying.
There's some
weird
dudes out there.
Why would people care about following us anyways? It's personal.
Yeah, and if it's, you know,
I like to follow people because I like seeing what the hell like cool shit people are doing.
Yeah, they want to see what their butthole
looks
like.
Yeah, my man. And at the end of the day, the way I'm thinking about it, if I was a chick, I'm like, well, I could either post my shit for free or I could monetize it. I'm gonna monetize it if I'm gonna post it at all.
I was gonna say if you're gonna post it at all, yeah.
But you know,
that's what I'm saying. And but then it gets into rabbit holes, just like bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Like first you're natural, and
then it's like, oh fuck, I want to take it to another level,
and then you start taking steroids. Next thing you know, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Man, I don't even know how we got onto that.
I think I called y'all out.
I think you did. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, fuck Miles.
There's a lot of stuff I'm like, I wish I could say something.
Yeah, he's like yelling at the radio when he's listening to us.
Yeah.
No.
You just wait till I get back on that.
Get a notebook every time.
Every time
I
I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah. Can't wait to.
Brock said this.
Let me see if I had a topic from. That I was gonna bring up, unless y'all have something good to talk about.
No, not really. I mean, just the fact that. I don't know. I wanted to definitely hit on, you know, you getting ready for summer shredding, the prep for that. And then also, I think something that's cool, it's definitely switching gears, but I wanted to make a mention of it, is the fact that, you know, not that this is a huge milestone, but it's something I've thought about over the past, week, especially after we talked about it, is the fact that, you know, I'm always very hard on myself when it comes to GymFlo, or I'm always like, oh, it's not as good as it should be, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I try and take some perspective looking back on how far we've come, some of the shit that we've overcome, you know, that definitely I feel like most people, I've become calloused over time that losing $1,000 or losing $2,000 worth of shit doesn't really faze me as much as it used to. You know, for some people that would wipe them out. They'd be like, "Fuck this, I'm out. It's way too much stress," or try and make that money back, recomp it, whatever. But you know, recently, you know, you've obviously been a part of GymFlo for some time, helping me out on the back end, and other people have too. But there's people in life, and I forgot, maybe it was Andy's podcast or whatnot. But there's propellers and there's anchors. There's people that are going to be anchors that are going to hold you back or not really give much. Not that like we've talked before, not every relationship has to give and take or whatever. But there's people that aren't going to just that don't really have much to offer. And, propelling you forward. And there's propellers that are people like you that, I've gotten, we've both fed off of each other. We've been able to, help each other with the gym, building this out, creating our own space pretty much, we don't work for anybody. We do our own shit. And the fact that now that I've gotten to an opportunity to be able to, bring you on, even though it's not much, paying you to help build GymFlo that much more, take it to another level, and create opportunities for growth.
Just bring more structure, I think, overall.
For sure. Yeah. I'm looking back at it as just like, I should have did it a long time ago, but I think this is what the bigger picture is all about: is being able to create opportunity to hopefully be able to grow the aspect of GymFlo that you're going to try and grow and help me build. Grow it to even more, to where you can get paid even more and focus more on it full time. And it all compounds, creating more opportunities and bringing people on that are either like, that are propellers, that are able to do shit that I'm not able to do, or be able to help out in areas that I'm not able to. Which I just wanted to mention that, like, it's cool to look back on that, and now having you become part of it more is something exciting, and something like that gives me an extra boost to be like, damn, we're actually moving it forward, because I'm always like, man, are we stagnant? Like, are we making growth? But it's hard to see that when growth or new products take 3 months.
Yeah,
to
I was
come
gonna
out
say
with,
it's hard to see when products take a while, or even with the gym. I feel like when we first opened, every month it was something new.
Yeah,
and then we have machines from Arsenal coming like next week, or if we're lucky, like the end of this week.
Yeah.
That it's been months since we've really gotten some new stuff that's been eye-catching versus, some new plates.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of feels like, man, things have been, monotonous and simple. Or like with GymFlo, like, okay, it was awesome. Eliminator was restocked, and then Orange Sherbet soon thereafter. Yeah. But then, there's a gap until future, products or reformulations, and to where it feels kind of stagnant. But, yeah, I'm excited with the whole athlete program is generally what kind of you're touching on.
Yeah.
And just... we got like a small knit crew, and something that...
And Miles being a part of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, and something that... It goes back to like what we're talking about with the value. It's like, nobody that we have, and none of us individually have the craziest following, the best engagement, but it's more about genuine, authentic people that truly love the products and use them, and that just make authentic content and our original people. Like, no one else is Miles. No one else has that personality, it's more than just a look or if you win your show or not.
Yeah.
It's more about just, your personality, how you engage with people. People remember their experiences with you. Your content stands out when I'm going on a feed. Same even goes for, like, we talk about, like, Peyton. That's why we brought him on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw his, like, little TikTok about the anabolic slushy. He makes this. He just got a mind that is excited about supplements.
Yep.
And he doesn't have a big following, but who gives a shit? He's into it. He's exciting. He truly loves the product. And he supports the brand. And that's what I'll have all day. And I explained it to him, with how I want... if you make a post about GymFlo, that's cool, but I don't want it to be sell. It's not what this program's about. It's not what being involved with GymFlo is about. And it's kind of like I explained to him, like, how I am with 10,000 is I don't ever make a post and I'm like, buy these shorts. These are my favorite shorts, and here's why. It's like I just wear them in every video because I truly like the product.
Right.
That's all I own. That's what I wear. And so it makes it easy when you truly like the product and when the brand isn't pressuring you to sell.
Yeah.
And so I am excited to see kind of how things can grow, how we can help the athletes benefit, and how they can help give us more insight and more eyes. I mean, even last week we were looking over a label and figuring out, what do you think of when you first see this? And getting some feedback just from two people changed a lot, with how things are going to move forward. So I think with sampling products and everything moving forward, getting athlete insight will be, super
Yeah.
helpful.
And hopefully, you know, obviously it's still in its like infancy stage because we really haven't kicked it off yet. This will be the first month coming up of us like really putting some structure to it. And obviously we'll talk more about it, you know, after this and over the next weekend. But, you know, creating more of like a tight-knit culture of like how we can continue to help each other, almost like me and Brock have done with the gym and GymFlo, is just how we can all work together to create more content, get more awareness, and share the experience of GymFlo in general, you know, like the experience of the products, the brand, the family that hopefully we can create out of this, you know, the team culture. So, and like I said, this nobody that we've like brought on hasn't already fucked with the brand of the products in general. This isn't just like, oh, we're just picking people because they have a following or they post. Yeah, obviously, you have to be alive on social media. We don't want just, you know, dead faces, but you know, they genuinely like us. They like the brand, and we like them. You know,
Because one thing that, like, I mean, GymFlo isn't big enough to really like do things like this, but I'm sure you follow some like pro bodybuilders, right? Or even like we mentioned like Chris Bumstead, for example.
Mm-hmm.
He, you know, was with Jacked Factory for like 2 years, swears by the products, has his own line with them, and then like a month later, now he's with Raw, a part owner. More power to him. Make your business decisions. But now you're like, these are the best products, you know? And it's like there's so many bodybuilders that are like, hey, this is what I take, this is what I love, and then the next week they're with a new brand. They're like, this is actually like the best pre-workout ever. And the same goes for clothing brands. And it's just, it's not that you can't like both things or that you can't change your mind, but I just feel like it's almost like, what have you done for me lately? Who's paying me right now? Almost, you know.
Well, I think in that specific situation, it's kind of hard. I think like his wording, especially at that level, is like what's important, because at the end of the day, it's like how many pre-workouts have you had that you actually liked? You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure, yeah.
like I've had BCAAs that I liked and whatever, but I really like this, and I'm using this right now, and like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to. I'm drinking this on my way to work, you know. And I think like it's a matter of not saying like, this is the best product you can ever get, you know, because I had someone come up to me like, hey, you're with GymFlo, like, you know, they're trying to get on and stuff like that. And they're like, how do you like them? And, like, I get offended. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? Like, I'm with them. I'm not going to just co-sign nothing for fun.
You
Like,
wouldn't just be doing it just for shits.
and like, I've when I was with Phantom, it was the same thing. They were like, do you actually like their product? And I get, like, literally offended. Like, I'm almost like, yo, don't talk to me. Who do you think I am? Like,
you think I'm
like,
just pushing shit randomly?
No, I don't got to do that. And who I am as a person, like who my page is, if you paid attention to me, if you support me, anything, you know that whatever I'm pushing, I genuinely feel like I'm not going to ever repost something just because. I'm not going to ever buy something just because. I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't, that's not how I am.
And another thing, too, is it's like it's okay to mix and match brands.
Oh, dude,
right?
I never get butthurt
Like,
when I see other people buy other. You know, they bought GymFlo the past 3 months, and they post this new pre-work. I'm never like.
It's like
oh,
when I got
fuck
involved with this brand, where I came up to you and I was like, hey, this brand X Works like wants to work with me. Is that cool? Like, I'm still gonna take and promote your pre-workout because theirs just isn't. It's not formulated as well. Whatever the case may be, there's really no overlap in products, and that's fine. Or even if you found another EAA you like mixing in, that's fine. But like you said, you do truly like and stand behind the product. So know if Miles posts this, he really does like it, and I think that's important because, like we talked about with building value, when people do come to your profile, they know they're not just getting sold on bullshit. There's trust built. Yeah.
Because that's the thing, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's like, there's a lot of other EAAs or pre-workouts.
We're not the only brand out there
that are, you know what I'm saying? There's only but so many formulas you can really do. It's just a matter of how you feel about it. Do you support it, and why do you want to support it? Because,
and it's a super. I'm gonna put it out there. You know, supplements is saturated. We say, how do these thousands and thousands of brands sell all these products when there's only X amount of people that probably take supplements? But they're that many people taking shit. There's that many brands. It's hard to differentiate yourself, and it's hopefully what we stand for as a brand, our values, and what we're about. As far as like experience, customer service, making sure that we are creating products that are efficaciously dosed with the amount of dosing that you need to actually get a result. Knowing that that's why you choose to roll with GymFlo. Yeah,
and I think that's so important of why like the athletes come so like important, because at the end of the day, like we were speaking of cosign, but does have to have some degree of cosign, as what commercials are. It's like what marketing is. It's because people if they believe or support you, they want to do it. Or if they see you, like you say, you're not an influencer, but I'm sure influence someone to hop on the bike. Like,
For sure.
Influencer, some people, as for their ego, hop onto that word. But if I've influenced someone to do anything from my page, I'm an influencer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, if I'm influencing someone to try this supplement, I mean, that's how that's how it works. And I think, like I said, it's important. I think it's important. And I think that at the end of the day, I like especially, that orange sherbet's so fire.
Sherbet's stupid good, man.
That joint is so fire. Like,
it's kind of crazy. Like I've had some other like creamy flavors before, but never an amino acid product
we really
like that.
like the Victory from Miracle
Yeah, that's
Labs.
exactly what I
Mainly
tried.
the first generation, but both are pretty good.
And that's an energy drink.
Yeah.
But I've sent this product out to a few other like bigger names within the industry that have tried thousands of products, and they have like raved how how we've been able to get this
actually fire.
Yeah,
like,
Well, I remember
so smooth.
when I was like, we were talking about what should we do for like the second flavor, and I was like, I feel like, orange dreamsicle, that kind of flavor like wouldn't get boring, because that was the biggest thing with this product. Is I don't want an EAA that has an aftertaste that just you get sick of it halfway drinking it. You get tired, like a grape, a fruit punch,
Regular
a blue
fruit punch,
raspberry. They're overdone. And so I was like, a lemonade, like people won't get tired. It can be refreshing,
never get
unless you
tired.
hate lemonade.
Yeah.
But, few people do. And the sherbet was the same deal. And then when we were sampling it, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it mixes well. You don't taste graininess. There's no aftertaste. And the biggest thing is, and I hope, the athletes feel this way too, is you feel supremely confident that I'm like, hey, here's a sample. Try this. Because they're going to love it.
Yeah.
Like I sent, that friend of mine, 10,000 athlete, like Anthony, I was like, hey,
he messaged
mind?
me.
I know. I was like, hey, you mind, if I send you this tub, I really think you'll like it. He's like, yeah, sure. Send it to him. Yeah, so many messages. Send your messages even later. Like, I love it. Just because there's that much confidence. Like,
Exactly.
you're going to fucking love this shit.
When I do demos and stuff, when I give people either the live sample it or whatever, I know they're going to either smile immediately after they taste it, or they're going to be like, yo, where can I buy a tub?
And that's so important. Like, I've gone through that with muscle mileage. I think last time I was going through whatever, and I continue to learn, because I'm more of I'm not structured. I'm just going to shoot. I'm just going to shoot, and I'm going to mess up, and I'm going to fail, and then I don't know. I'll keep going.
It's better than the person that doesn't shoot.
But the thing is, what I learned with, like, the clothing that I've been doing recently, and that's why I haven't done anything, is that, like, even though it can sell, and it did sell, and I actually did okay, I think I have, like, 3 shirts left, literally, out of all my launches I've done. But the thing is, just like, and I'm being very transparent, they're a Gildan t-shirt. Like, it's a Gildan t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, brands, I don't know if y'all know Anaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brand, Gildan t-shirts. I love that brand. It's cool. I just bought a shirt for $40. I like that brand. But, like, for me, it was hard for me to sit there and, like, buy this shirt. Like, even though, like, it was really just like, how can I sell someone and really push this Gildan t-shirt?
The message is hopefully, and the message or story about the brand is hopefully what you're selling, not so much the t-shirt.
I always feel like, and I've said this, I think,
like for that t-shirt, Fight for Tomorrow, that's a message that you're selling, not
Tomorrow
a
Project,
t-shirt.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like I've said this in private, like different people, I've said it to you, I think, even on like the podcast. I feel like for apparel, you either have to have the marketing and design behind it. So either Cool Ass Design, and Naka does cool things, they market it well, or, and it goes with marketing too, or you got to have some kind of cool function material fabric, like Alpha Elite tries to do different comfortable fabrics, how it fits, things like that. Like that's how like 10,000 tries to push their shit, right? So it's like you either got to have cool ass design or, function or like, look as far as design or like actual like design and element and material to really stand out or to be like super excited about it.
Yeah.
So I know how you feel about that.
Yeah, and like the point that I brought about it was like, when it's something like this where it's so good, it's like you put the work in, everything behind it is right. You know what I mean? Like when I first dropped Muscle Miles, I had these black shirts and they were fire. Honestly, something happened, like long story short, but the shirts, I knew, like I got a couple I found. Yeah. I thought I'd put them on the site for $50. Like that's how much I believe in that shirt.
Oh yeah.
But like, and it's easy for me to do that. But if you have a product, whatever it's clothing or supplements, it's hard to sit there and really, like you were basically saying, it's like try this. Like, I know you're going to like it because I believe in this product, and it's easier to sell doing it that way.
And I remember, and it's listened to like people that I've listened to throughout the past, like Andy Frisella or something like that, especially, you know, talking about products in general, selling something, you know, because you can try and be a bargain brand and try and beat the lowest price, but you'll never feel good about trying to push that product. You'll never be 100% in because you try to do a discount or a bargain product. And if you went all in on your product, knowing that you like uncovered every stone, you made sure it tasted great or fit great, whatever, whether it's shirt or supplement, you just went all in on it. Budget not really a factor, and you had to charge a premium price for it, but you could stand 100% behind it, knowing that it was the fucking best thing you could ever make. Which I feel like, at least with our products, that's what we do. That's why, like, I think for most people, whatever product it may be, you gotta, even though it's like tough to like bite that bullet and spend that extra money on whatever to make sure it's like top fucking notch, or at least the best of your ability. You can always get better over time, but for the best of your ability at the moment, I think it helps to be able to be like, all right, yeah, I can sell this shirt for $40, or I can sell this supplement for $50.
I feel like you can tell the brands that just throw shit out there, because you can tell they get lazy with designs, or, you know, how many times we tried like a certain, you know, flavor pre-workout or, you know, product, and you're like, they approved this?
Yeah.
Like, this tastes like shit. Like, who said this was good? You know, like Bang comes out with flavors all the time. Like, someone approved this, you know? Like,
yeah.
I think, like, at the end of the day, doing what you just said sells and gives that confidence, and confidence runs the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy thinking, like, thinking back, it's just, I guess, the standard or the integrity that I have for myself and the brand is, I didn't even tell Brock this, but I reordered another sample of our next product, which is going to be a pump product, after the fact, after I'd already approved the first one, because I just started thinking about it a little bit more. I was like, man, it could be better. Yeah. The flavor.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't feel like I could stand behind it 100% unless I did give it another shot to try and make it better, which, you know, and thinking back on that, that's just like, I think it's over time you build like a standard in your own head of like not accepting anything but your best.
It's so, because literally, like, the yellow compression shirts, they weren't supposed to be compression shirts, to be honest with you. Yeah. And the crop tops.
But dude, it's like a learning thing, you know. Like you pivoted. You had to do with what you had, you know.
But what I was gonna say is, like, the samples. You know, you don't. Oh man, another $100 and something for a sample. I think these will be all right. And that's what I did. And like you said, it's a learning experience. But those things right there, I couldn't sell them. Like, I mean, I put them on the site. And maybe I shouldn't. I thought about taking them off. But, you know, that was like some G's that I didn't want to just. But, you know, it's like, I couldn't sit there and be like, yo, you're going to like this yellow shirt. Or you're going to like this. Like, I'm like, hey, fits a little snug. You know, I can't stand behind it. You know what I mean? And so, like, yeah, I think it comes back to the point of all of it is, like, you coming out with these products and having an athlete that stands behind it, because it's really, 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 like, valuable. It's really, you like it, you enjoy it, and you have confidence selling it. It makes everything roll much better.
And just hearing you say that, you know you could do better and plan on doing better, and that's why you haven't done any next moves now, like, could hopefully give a picture of what type of brand you're trying or would like to build, you know, something that actually you feel good about and that you could stand 100% behind, and, you know, just taking the time to learn more, I guess, you know,
right.
Which, you know, it's a part of the process. It's tough just jumping in. I mean, our first supplements were all hand fucking made, and probably
there's a balance.
Dog shit.
There's a balance of knowing when done is better than perfect, and when you should actually take the time to pursue perfection.
Yeah,
like. For sure. For content with GymFlo, sometimes done is better. Like, just
100%.
get the podcast up, just get the photo up,
because that's not what we're really selling,
right?
But when it comes down to the meat and potatoes, the shirts, the supplements, whatever, that's when you take your time and nail it. Because like we're working with this label, you know, how many revisions have we gone through just because you're about to print like 1,000 of them or 500? You want to make sure it's right, you know.
Yeah.
And even little things like, you know, not realizing. And it's not even like our fault. I think it was just layering. But the Sherbert's kind of hard to read on this label. Even that, like when it came, we were both like, damn
fuck.
it.
Too late now, though.
Yeah, but, you know, fortunately, everything else fucks on this label.
And we know what to correct moving forward.
Now you know what to correct moving forward. But Like you guys said, it's just sampling on the nitty-gritty stuff makes it so much easier later to sell it because you stand behind it, and now all you got to do is just show it to people, let them try it.
And with any product, it doesn't have to, product, like, especially with all of it being so saturated, it's like your first impression matters a lot in that field because, like I want to support local, but that one that I bought, it was bad and I didn't like it. And so, I'd rather go with Cellucor or whatever. Or
And I've had that happen in the past before, whether it's a product that was clumpy or whatever the case, that where I feel like we have had that one sale and they've never come back, which, sucks to bite down, but it's just like, oh, well, they probably either got a bad experience or the product was fucked up or it's just not a fit for them. We're not a fit for everybody.
So, and the same thing, like I said, with every product, really, like clothing, like I've had in the past where it took too long to ship or, this shirt, like the yellow ones, they fit really tight. I don't like that. Oh, I don't want to buy this. Okay, am I going to mess around and drop this money on this local brand that's messing up or being careless? Or am I going to drop this money on Athlete or Gymshark or Young LA?
Most likely going to get the package that you wanted.
That's exactly. So it's just, I think that's when it really matters.
Yeah. And, fortunately, like I just hitting back on, you being transparent, knowing that you realize that, hey, I'm always getting, you're not complacent. You're always trying to get better. So people knowing that and you being transparent or expressing that at least to your customers, at least they know that like, oh, Miles, he's getting it together. Like we know that the next one's going to be even better, so
you're going to own it.
It's almost that story or process. You know what I'm saying? Even though
for sure
not every bad experience, you can not flip it, but you can express it in a way that is heartfelt and be like, people fuck with that, man. I realize like he's going through the process.
Yeah, actually, when I did my last rebranding or whatever, I like kind of explained how like what things went wrong, stuff like that, and I think literally I gained like on that page not a lot, but like 50 followers. I think I remember.
That's what it matters though.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, anything else good going on? You got any other plans? What do you got going on today? You gonna train?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I got cardio. Eat. That's about it, really.
So what are you sitting at now, weight-wise?
Well,
about $180.
Yeah. Well, that's when
219.
Nice.
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy because I started at like 210 ish.
So you put on some meat
since August.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing crazy.
Like I told you earlier, your past few posts, you've been fucking sharp, dude. Looking sharp.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
I feel good. I feel confident. Like I've been, it's a whole nother spiel, but like I've been just like manifesting it with like actions. I'm not a big saying the word manifesting, and like saying, oh, like I'm gonna win this. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna win this. And these are the things I have to do to win. I think
positive thoughts lead to positive actions, though, so it's all connected. As long as you put both together.
Exactly. I've been kind of like a little more spiritual than I ever have, and like I literally like when I wake up in the morning, like I try not to touch my phone. I sit there and say like the goals that I want, short term and long term. I say what's most important to me multiple times, and then like I don't just say it and go on about my day. Like I sit there and say, okay, what do I need to do in the gym today to make sure that's going to happen? What do I need to do at home or wherever to make that happen? And like also picture myself doing it. It's kind of like weird, but I feel like the more I've done that, the more, especially even on prep, like, oh, I'm on level 6. I usually do level 6, but level 7, that's going to push me that much harder. And that's going to separate me from the people doing level 5, you know? And like, just doing that, and everything else has been going smooth. I mean, eating, like I went to the fair Saturday. That was pretty rough. Like
what fair?
State fair.
Does that happen?
State fair already happened.
Oh shit! When was that?
I think
past weekend, or it probably goes. I think it goes through the week.
Yeah.
But the big weekend usually people go is this past weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about it.
Well, I went with my family and my dad and his girl, and like. Obviously the food, I've been eating so strict. The fried Oreos, funnel cake, pizza, like turkey legs, all that stuff, and like it hurt, but like I'm like, you know what, like it does not matter. My dad's like, Miles, you're getting weak. You're getting weak. I can tell. I'm like, I was like, you must not know your son. I'm like, there's a negative 110% chance that I'm even going to try anything. And like I said, I've just been kind of like having that mindset and just locking in, you know.
That's one thing I said on my story a little bit ago, that I feel like whenever I say shit on my story, I feel like such an imposter sometimes. But one thing I said was, like, the more times you choose, like, the hard choice, the easier it gets to choose that. So, like, the more times you commit to, like, not cheating on your diet, to getting the cardio done, the less times you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like it. You kind of just do it. It just becomes instinct, you know?
Yeah. I've thought about like the imposter syndrome, and even people that like seem to be perfect or like hard ass, tough as nails on social media, I'm sure that they have little slip ups, but it's like, I don't know what, you know, like somebody like Goggins. I'm sure that motherfucker is hard. He probably doesn't have many holes in his fucking
I don't
story.
know if he has.
I don't think he does.
Dude.
But like at the same time, don't get it twisted. That I feel like he probably has some demons he deals with. That's like that he's fighting those decisions, and he's like,
well, I think he's talked about it. I think Joe always mentions that, like, Goggins told him, like, I still have those motherfucking days where I sit there and stare at my shoes for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
But then I go get that shit done, you know?
And it's crazy. Like, I think
realizing it's hard for everyone.
Yes.
But the difference between, you know, those people that you're trying to aspire to, you know, to be like, is it's just simple actions, simple decisions. Well, you know, it's yes or no.
I mean, I think it's levels, honestly. It goes back to what I was saying about genetics with bodybuilding. I think, like, some people, like, you're better at structuring. Like, you just are. Like, me and Austin, I feel like me and him are similar.
I'm not near that.
Me neither. And I'm lazy. And,
guy.
like, you know, like, some things, like, some people are just crazy. Some people literally just, the way their mind literally is just structured, they don't care about literally just doing this, and it doesn't bother them. They don't have to make those decisions, and some people do, and some people do sometimes, and some people do all the time. Some people have greater willpower than consistency, and I think, like, everyone is different, and I think, like, people like that, I don't even know what you're talking about, but from what it sounds, he probably don't.
You ever heard of David Goggins?
Nah,
but
but he sound. I'm gonna look him up.
We got
this.
something to show you.
But he's probably literally just in the head, like,
dude,
trained that way, and he probably doesn't have.
He'll be your idol.
Some people are like that, you know.
Yeah, and
some people's worst nightmare.
I've noticed, and I am not the fucking idol. I'm not the pinnacle. I'm not the poster child for it. But even people that are close to me have noticed, like, damn, you've been taking it pretty serious, or like, oh, you've been leaner a lot lately than you have ever before, or like, oh, you aren't going to eat this or drink that. Which, obviously, I went to a wedding this past weekend. I have little things where I let myself slide. But for the most part, you know, I think for the longest time, I didn't have any, like, good willpower at all. I'd be like, oh, fucking pizza tonight? Fuck it. I'll have pizza. But, or, like, oh, I don't need to do, like, especially, like, being consistent with the bike or, like, training or whatever. I've noticed that, you know, these things, the willpower, the will to say yes or no to something can be built.
That's what I'm saying.
It can be built.
I think everyone, like you said, Miles, I think everyone has, like, you know, like me making a decision to do, you know, to go run today or to do whatever. It might be easier for me than it was a few years ago, or it might be easier for me than it is to Austin, to you, to whatever. But I think I guess the takeaway that can actually, the practical thing that you can grab from that is that it can be improved no matter where you start. You know?
And sorry, I'm like I said, I'm a little pessimistic. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think, like, when we were talking earlier, bodybuilding, like, yes, you can get a good physique, you can become healthy, you can do this, you can continue to improve. But if you take a newborn Chris Bumstead and a newborn Brock, he's gonna literally 10 times you in quarter of the time.
In high school,
and so it's like. At the end of the day, it's like, I think the same thing with literally everything else. It's like those guys are propelled that fast, and I looked him up. I do know that guy, David Goggins. But like those people are propelled because they have that edge, like what I was saying earlier, key. They have that key that gives them that ability to do so.
Well, he's been through shit. I mean, he's been through SEAL camp 3 times, you know, and so like you go through enough shit, you build up those like scars and those attitudes, and that's what I'm saying. Like the more you go through and put yourself through, you know, states of suffering, you know, the more you almost harden up and can make those decisions a little easier.
But what makes you do it too? That's the thing. And y'all talked about
what makes
it
you
on
make
podcast.
the first decision, or
like what makes you want to do it? You know what I mean?
You
like,
just gotta like you got to be a little unhappy with yourself. You got to. I hate to say it this way without a movie. You got to hate yourself enough to do something about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, like, you guys, and seriously, guys, we could probably do this
I'm
podcast
sure.
forever.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I know you said something a while ago about how you do it, how you want to prove something.
Yeah.
And honestly, and I'm making a judgment, and so sorry I'm saying on the air.
No, you can't.
From what I got from it is, like, your high school or throughout upbringing did not go the way that you wanted it to, and it bothered you to an extent to put you that driving. Same thing with me. It's like my cleft has always made me not feel good enough. My dad being like never telling me that, like, good job. Like, when I used to do good in basketball games or whatever, he would never say good job. He'd be like, Miles, you need to tighten up. You need to do this. And it gave me that drive. Like, I've gone years.
I'm the same way. My parents, I feel like, have never given a fuck, you know, like, open the gym. They, you know, cursed the fuck out of me when I said I wanted to drop out, and then I build the gym, and now they claim like they're bragging to their friends or this or that. And I feel like they're never, you know, I can do whatever. I can do, you know, run the marathon. I can compete in bodybuilding. I can do whatever. They don't actually care about what I'm up to, what I'm doing. And yeah, I feel like it's never almost good enough. So I feel like that leads my mind to, you know, whatever you want to call it. But it leads me to a place to where even when I look at something I do, I'm like, not good enough. Next thing. And I think you can look at it as a negative, but I think as long as you take demons you have, negative experiences you have, and try and turn them into productive habits, that's the missing link where some people
for sure
turn to a downward spiral. Some people look like animals.
Drugs,
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. And, like, it's crazy because, you know, once I, like, came to a point, I went go over a bad heartbreak, blah, 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 and I learned to, like, love myself. I started slacking off more. Like, I was just like, oh, like, I am good enough. Like, I learned to love myself, and I was like, I am good enough. I don't, and whatever. And, like, it's sick, but I had to find some, like, I haven't made stuff up in my head.
You need negativity.
Well, yeah, some people don't, and some people
Yeah.
do. It's just depending how you're upbringing, how you're naturally hardwired. And for me, like, I need to feel like, oh, these people are sleeping on me. I need to feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. I need to feel
like that too.
Whatever. And once they do that, like, I'm not saying I'm the best man in the world, but I feel personally unstoppable. There's nothing in this world you can say, do, whatever to get me off track. And I think that's goes.
I mean, I've talked about it on the podcast. I think a few months ago we talked about that a little bit, and I was saying how I feel like I am so much more fueled by negativity than positivity, to where it's like I have to invent people on Instagram talking shit, or the rare instance I get a negative comment, or I hear, you know, gossip, or I see a post or whatever. It's like that fires me the fuck up. Like, remember when I got that, like, email from that VCU chick, and I was an ableist and you know, fat shaming, blah, blah, blah. And both of us are fucking fired up the next day. I was ripping heavy deadlifts. Felt fucking good. I was like, yeah. I almost like, it's kind of like LeBron. I think you'll relate to that. Do you keep up with basketball, right?
Well,
a little bit? No. But
yes.
Yeah.
I know who LeBron James is.
Well, of course you know LeBron. But I mean, like, when LeBron went to Miami, he was like, yeah, I'm the villain. And he almost, like, embraced that villain mindset and was like, I'm just going to stick it to you that much more. You know, I'm stomping on throats, shoving it in your face. I feel like I feel like you do too, Miles, feed off that versus, you know, oh, I'm glad everyone's like supporting
I hate when people tell me good job, man. Yeah. It makes me soft. I ain't gonna lie. Like, like, it feels good, but then it's like, oh, wait.
It's short-lived, for sure.
Yeah,
it doesn't like give you the fuel, the gas.
I did 55 minutes last night on cardio because everyone was gassing me at the gym earlier, saying how good I looked, and like I was like, you know what? Wow, like, nah, I don't look good. I can't, and like, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, today I'm gonna do extra 5 minutes. Like, it doesn't really matter, no. But at the end of the day, it's like I have to have in my head that, like, man, like, I'm not good enough, and I have something to prove. And whoever it may be, too, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and, you know, I feel like most people look at that and they'll call it, like, an insecurity.
It is. No, it is.
I don't view it as that, because I feel like if you take it to the point where because you mentioned the phrase, like, hate yourself. I don't actually, like, hate myself. I do have a sense of love. I can look at what I've accomplished and be proud of it from a wide standpoint, but it's almost like I can't mentally allow myself to be proud, because then I'll slack off. So it's like there's enough self-awareness to know I don't actually hate myself. I'm not upset with my body image. I like how I look, but I want to be better. You know what I mean? So like there's a line between, like, people talk about like bodybuilding and body dysmorphia. It's like there are some people that truly will never accept the way they look. That's body dysmorphia. But wanting to improve your body because you can look better for that show, or wanting to just, you love the art of bodybuilding, you want to get bigger, it's not because you like hate yourself, but it's because you know you can be that much better. You want to be that much better. So in my mind, fair enough. I want to hear your like take on it. But in my mind, I feel like an insecurity is like something that pulls you down rather than propels you forward.
I mean, it depends what you do with it, take a negative turn to a positive. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like I may not disagree with you, but I do, because of the fact of, like, at least in my head, it's like, why do you want to get bigger for the show? Like, I think so many things are so deep rooted that our subconscious can't even capture it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, like, since, like, let's say me and you were raised to feel like we're not good enough, like, that's like embedded in us. You know what I mean? That's embedded in us to feel that way, because what's the point of getting bigger for a bodybuilding show? You doing it for yourself? No,
well,
that's not true.
I guess it's like the phrase, like, are you working so you can win, or are you working because you're afraid to lose? I feel like it's that phrase. Like, are you scared to lose, or are you trying to win?
If you're afraid to lose, first of all, what are you afraid to lose? Why? And who cares?
Well, because you don't want, like, the negative experience to go backwards in life.
Insecurity.
That's what I think.
And I guess, let me clarify, and this might help clarify a little bit of the whole spiel, is when I said earlier from that movie quote, hate yourself enough to do something about it, it's more so me thinking back on, like, Austin, you want to be leaner, or you want bigger legs, or you want to be able to,
I want better for your life.
I want better. I want to be in a better house. I want to have a better car. I want to have more income. But why aren't you doing the shit that's going to get you there? Why are you slacking off today on the training, or why are you skipping that 5 minutes extra cardio? Why? But you want all this stuff, but you aren't doing it. I hate that bitch Austin that skips that stuff because he doesn't want it, obviously. So.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Why aren't you doing the stuff that's actually going to get you what you want? If you want that better looking physique, car, house, whatever, but you're going to sleep on yourself though, like that's when I guess that maybe insecurity thing comes about. But it's more so me like hating that
maybe it's
person because you're letting yourself down.
Yeah. Maybe it's because the word insecurity has a stigma, so almost attach it with weakness or just negative outcomes. Yeah. Versus an insecurity can have some positive, like, reaction if you turn it that way. Maybe.
Yeah. Y'all ever think like so? For example, today, literally getting off the exit over here, Sam was like, "Dang," she was like, "Imagine how crazy you would have looked if you would have like." Ate like all your meals because I slacked off or whatever, or been on the stuff then, like, and I was like, no, stop. I was like, because like what I'm getting at is I believe in, like, instead of saying, man, I messed up, or man, I hate myself, or whatever, what if it's like, I can do this right now? You know what I'm saying? I can do better right now. I think you have to kind of realize what you're messing up at some point, but like I think we also all know where we're messing up at. Like, and like for me, like I said, on my spirituality stuff, I'm like, I can't worry about what I could have done, what I should have done, what I need to do, why I suck or whatever. But it's like, what can I do right now that is better? You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
Yeah, like
that's definitely a positive transition.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a bad negative insecurity thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's bad when you don't correct it.
Yeah.
And you just keep being oblivious or delusional, thinking like, oh, I don't know why this isn't happening because I'm skipping meals or whatever the fuck. At least you know that, like, hey, today I got a clean slate. Let me fucking do what's right, or let me do what I'm supposed to do today, so I can, because you can't focus on yesterday's fucking loss or win, really,
Yeah. Let's go viral.
Yeah, let's go. Well, guys, that might be it, man, because we're burning up.
Sure.
We've been on this motherfucker for an hour and 20.
All value, though.
Yeah.
All value.
I hope y'all enjoyed this one. Hopefully you did. Thanks, Miles, for coming out for real.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I literally listen to y'all's podcast every single week.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I like it. And,
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'm
We
excited for
should.
GymFlo. I'm excited for everything.
I'm glad you're part of the team.
To
I'm
the
more excited to see.
fucking moon.
Yeah,
To the moon, man.
I'm right past it.
Yeah, right past it. Going to Mars, motherfuckers.
We'll beat Elon there.
All right, guys, make sure you follow us all in the description below. Make sure you follow Miles, obviously. Catch up with him as he continues to prep for the Summer Shredding Show and give him some support.
Check out his pod.
Yeah, check out his podcast.
It's whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's whatever.
It's
podcast.
whatever.
There you go.
I'm just messing. But, yeah, hopefully we'll be on that soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Until next time, guys, subscribe. We'll see y'all next week.
Ideally.
We're out.